Hello everyone, here's another off-season vlog of what can probably be close to 2 weeks post-Arnold Classic UK. If we go back to the check-in, so I posted my check-in photos on Instagram on Monday. On prep I was checking in every day, sending photos to Patrick Stewart every day. Not doing that anymore, that's a pain in the arse. And I get my clients to check in every day as well, from a certain point, and trust me, I know how annoying it is getting up, and the first thing you have to do is, when you're that depleted anyway, the last thing you want to do is get up and take photos and go round and round and round and posing and stuff. So that's kind of been a nice break for myself. So I'll be keeping the check-ins to once a week. Post-show, especially this year, I think what I touched on in the first vlog, I think I'm keeping it together pretty well. I don't need that support emotionally or whatever from Patrick to kind of keep things in check. So I think I'm pretty good on that front. So yeah, I think I just that self-adherence and just being accountable to myself is definitely a billion times better this year than it ever has been. I touched on that in the previous video, and I touched on that in the Instagram post as well, is that my eating has been immaculate since coming off the show. I just want to touch on in this vlog, obviously I'll try to keep it by myself in the vlogs, and then I'll do other videos whereby I kind of discuss topics, but this post show, the number one reason I've been able to keep it together is that I want that super heavyweight and overall title at the Arnold next year, and I'd like to start my off season, which hasn't officially started yet in terms of pushing. We're still in our recovery phase just now, but I'd like to start my next off season in far better shape. You know, lines to the quads, lines to the maybe some lines to the glutes. They go quite quickly for me. I don't hold on to them very long, and obviously abs as well, keeping abs. I had a tight midsection, I think, running into last off season, but it can definitely be way tighter in terms of body fat anyway. So yeah, that's number one for me, is that I want to start the off season in way better shape. Now, if we're talking about previous preps, I in 2013 I didn't weigh myself. That was the first year I won a British, at the UKBFF British. Because I didn't weigh myself the entire prep, so I don't know how much weight I actually put on post show. Going by what I remember in terms of how quickly my body changed for the worse, I must easily put on between 20 and 25 pounds of pure fat and water in that first month. But I didn't care. I was young. I wanted to go out. I wanted to eat and drink and whatever. So I've been in that position before, and that's why I think I'm more than capable of kind of helping others get through that phase, because I've done the extreme. I've gone from shredded to very not in a short space of time. So I know kind of various ways of keeping your mind together and whatnot, but sometimes you just have to go through it. You see with a lot of first timers, they put on body fat insanely quickly post show. No matter how good the coach is, no matter how good the plan is post show, it happens anyway. That rebound phase for some people, and with bodybuilding and kind of in life in general, the best way to learn is to make mistakes, and obviously that's a mistake that you kind of have to rectify. I've touched on this before in other posts and that, but men obviously get away with post-show rebound phase way more than women. Men like being big and strong, and women like being strong as well, but like men more or less don't mind being big and bloated and whatever. It doesn't really bother them, but it does for women. So women definitely struggle a lot more post-show than men do, in my opinion, in terms of how they look, or dealing with how they look post-show. So that's just kind of the reality of things. Number two, in terms of how I've been able to keep things in check, Patrick put my food up quite a lot. So it's not the highest food he's ever put me on, but it's definitely really high food, and that's been great, keeping myself kind of in check with that. But what I've done is, for instance, I do small things. It's small wee tactics, like for instance, he's given me blueberries in meal 1. I'll swap that out for raspberries or another fruit of the similar macros just to keep things kind of fresh. Swapping out protein powder flavours, and not through choice really, that was just by accident because I ran out of whey and I had to use Reagan stuff. Using different vegetables with different meals. For instance, I just had a meal there with mixed peppers. Swapping out different vegetables with different meals. Different sauces as well. I would never choose peri peri chicken as like a flavour in like a restaurant or whatever. I would never choose that, but I've been sticking that in some of my meals. So adding different sauces, different spices, different flavours, cream of rice, all these wee kind of small things that you don't think would really make much of a difference, they can. Does it taste as good as a chocolate brownie, a real one? No, it doesn't. Does it taste as good as a pizza? No, it doesn't. But you know, no meal will replicate that in a bodybuilding diet, really. You can make your meals exciting and you can enjoy them, absolutely, but let's face it, junk food tastes... There's a reason there's an obesity epidemic in the Western world, is because junk food tastes fucking amazing, right? Let's face it, and it's so convenient. But yeah, there's many different ways in which you can make your bodybuilding diet as adventurous as possible, using food. So that's obviously not an exhausted list, but it's just some of the things I've done so far, and they definitely have helped. The first week of training, things felt... I tried different movements. So number one, I went back. I started incline barbell pressing again. Well, I don't want to say again because I've not done that for about 11 years. I remember the last time I done incline barbell press, my spotter spotted one-handed from one side of the bar, so the bar tilted, and it didn't feel right at the time either, and like, I was using too much weight, and I was like, fuck this, I'm never touching this again. I obviously saw Frank McGrath incline barbell press, and I was like, well, he's got a huge chest, he looks awesome, I'll do that. So honestly, I haven't touched it since about then. But now knowing a lot more about my body mechanics and knowing my body far better and not bringing my ego in as much into training, I've put the incline barbell press back in, and so far in the push session that Patrick's given me, I use it as movement one, and that's made, it's been good so far. So I'm going to try and push that and see what I can get up to that. So I've done 4 plates for 4 reps. That's still shy of the rep range that I needed to hit, that Patrick's allocated. But that's fine, that'll bump up soon, and I can always use more chest. I've got a very flat chest, even when it's full. So yeah, that's going to be exciting to see how that moves. In terms of overall the training, my strength has shot up insanely quickly, as most people's do post-show. So I'm really chuffed with that. The sessions themselves, the first week, Chris and I kind of agreed that, you know, I think Chris just enjoyed having a training partner again that actually spoke and had a wee bit of emotion. So we spent a bit of time having a bit of a blather and a bit of a chat and whatnot, and that was nice. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm motivated to get back and train, but I'm just so happy to be back in the gym, not dreading the gym, not dreading training, not dreading looking at my logbook and thinking, fuck, I've got to beat that and I've got to beat that. So it's definitely a massive change since coming off the prep. Simply just wanting to walk through the gym door is a big change to where I was before, where like, for instance, like Chris and Reagan would come up and I'd be like, I don't want to do this. I really do not want to do this. Dreading every second of it. Some days every set felt like it lasted about 4 hours. So yeah, it's good to enjoy the thing I love again. So I'm really chuffed with that. This week we've already done 2 sessions this week. We've done push and pull. Already noticed the chat kind of coming back down, and Chris took a bit of time off as well, so we're both kind of just creeping that back up. I'm assuming that based on what Patrick has said to me so far, that it's going to be a kind of 6-week rebound post-show before we think about pushing up again. I'm not quite sure kind of what he wants to do on that front, but I'm happy to sit where we are for now and just kind of crack on with the low volume stuff and just enjoy the sessions and just kind of creep that intensity up just a wee bit more each time. Like you can go back into full 100% training if you want to, but like I said, it's that kind of fun aspect, you know. People seem to forget that training should be fun. It shouldn't be a chore, unless obviously you're approaching a show. It's not going to be fun. Let's face it. If you're truly overexcited about training leading to the show, I don't know. I think there's something off there. You shouldn't feel like that, in my opinion. But it is what it is. So yeah, just glad that the thing that I love and the hobby that I love has been rekindled a wee bit. So yeah, really chuffed for that. Yeah, that's kind of everything in terms of nutrition and training. In terms of like how I feel obviously way healthier. I noticed there was big spikes in my appetite throughout this past week. Waking up in the middle of the night and starving, like almost to the point where it was worse than prep. I don't know how that's possible, but you know, you've sensitized all these appetite hormones for 5-6 months, and then all of a sudden you throw a shit ton of clean food at it, which your body processes really well, and all of a sudden they go nuts essentially, and they're like, right, more, I need more of this. We're digesting it quickly, let's go, let's get some more in. My tactic to handle that during the night, I've always got diluted juice in the fridge. So I just fill a full shaker with diluted juice, make it as strong as possible so it kind of puts me off a little bit. And I'll down that and then go back to bed. And that's kind of kept it under place. Don't get me wrong, I could easily wake up and eat for Scotland, but that's been helping massively for me. It's just kind of keeping my mind right, just realising that it's just the hormones in your head kind of telling you to go nuts and feed the body, which has been depleted for so long. But this morning, don't get me wrong, I'm still hungry. Even in the off season, I always have an appetite. I've never really struggled for appetite ever, but I noticed this morning, this is Thursday, that my appetite wasn't as mental as Wednesday or Tuesday. So that's kind of a good sign that things are kind of easing. I slept better last night as well. Oh, that's another thing I want to touch on. My sleep was awful for up until last night. It's just so broken. I'll lie in bed for 8 hours, but I'm definitely not getting anywhere close to that. But last night was okay. Not the best, not the worst. So that's improving as well, and that's going to obviously aid me in this rebound phase to make the most of the rebound phase as well. So I'm pretty happy with that, and hopefully that kind of continues. Yeah, I think that's everything in terms of the rebounds. I can't really think of anything else that I wanted to touch on. We've got the PCA British Finals on Saturday. I've got 5 clients in that show. I'm really looking forward to kind of see how they perform and see how they all get on. I said in an Instagram post that they've all surpassed their past shows, so it's going to be really interesting to see where they are. Also, I know the PCA standard pretty well, being a former overall bodybuilding champion myself, so it's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm obviously proud of all of them. So, and I've still got another 2 clients kind of competing in the season as well. So the work's not done on the coaching competitors front, which is good, which is keeping me on my toes, and it's keeping me busy as well. That's probably something to touch on. Another aspect as well, post show, is just to stay super busy. Yesterday I done 2 one-off PT sessions, and as I covered in one of my vlogs, is that I'm no longer doing full-time one-to-one PT. I'm just doing one-off sessions now and again, and but that was good just to kind of, because my rest day food is lower, so that busyness just keeps me kind of floating through the day without being too food focused, because my food focused tendencies have drastically improved year to year, but we're all human, and it's still a major part of kind of your psyche, so they have improved, but even still, being busy kind of just keeps your mind on away from food. So that was it was quite easy to get through that rest day, considering I woke up rampant in terms of appetite. So yeah, I was really chuffed with that. I think that's everything. So if you've made it this far, I don't know how anyone can listen to me for 15 minutes just talking about myself, but yeah, cheers for the support, guys. Anything you want me to cover in my next vlog? The vlogs will just be kind of obviously me just talking about my week, but if you want me to cover anything, but I'll hopefully be doing separate videos on different topics running through the off season and whatnot. So excited to kind of see where my physique goes. I'll be posting, because we're going down to, because the PCA British is going to offset my week a little bit, I'm going to do my check-in tomorrow and send photos to Patrick Chair tomorrow and see where we're sitting. So I'll do a post of how I'm looking tomorrow on Instagram, and obviously follow me on Instagram. So yeah, thanks guys.